okay, just one question. Why was this so hard? Why did it take this long to make a good Predator movie? It's why? Why was it this hard? Took three, 4 fucking movies to finally get, hey, what if we just had the Predator hunt other people?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. So I will say the only other movie that was decent enough was Predators. But like this is the first one that like actually lived up to Predator.
Like this, like that's what I'm saying. Like this is like the legitimately fucking awesome Predator movie. And it turns out the answer was like, hey, what if we just like had the Predator fight other kinds of people?
Yeah.
That's all it needed, apparently. Just like change up the costume a little bit, like change the time period, have other kinds of people. That's all you fucking need.
Yeah.
But then we had the fucking who James Black, Sean Black. Wait, what's the fuck's name?
Shane Black.
Shane Black. I was getting there. The Shane Black version, which is this over convoluted Predator lore dump. And then Predators, which I enjoy as like a dumb, cheesy B movie, but also was a overabundant lore dump that was way too complicated.
Yeah, pretty much.
But this one's like, hey, you know the Predator? Just like have him fight some Native American people. Movie done. The rest of it writes itself. You know?
Yeah, the movie it basically kind of pulls off a Creed, and the whole idea that it's like it's similar but different. It finds enough to like differentiate itself while still kind of following that kind of like formula. Although I will say, compared to Creed, I feel like it kind of accomplished that a lot better. Just because, like you said, the time period, like it's so much more different to it. Like I'm not saying Creed didn't accomplish it, but I'm saying like you said, like all these differentiations that this thing does, it makes it stand out so much more.
I think the difference between like this and say something like Creed is like by pure definition a legacy sequel, where it's very much like, hey, here's the same characters, we're passing the baton to the next generation. This one's more of just, hey, the formula in the first one works because it's not that complicated. Let's just keep it there. But like, hey, let's put it in like, let's use natural lighting and these beautiful environments for this. Let's make them fight against the Comanche. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Comanche Native Americans.
Like have them fight the Comanche people. Cool. Hey, even better. Let's make the main lead like a badass woman. Cool. Awesome. There's your movie, and it's fucking awesome. I loved it.
I also appreciated the God of War references they had throughout.
You mean with her fucking? I'm swearing a lot in this video.
The way that they kind of do the extra evil as well as the Predator shield.
I guess you can call those God of War references.
No, they are. They are legitimately meant to be Easter eggs that are references to God of War.
Oh, are they? Okay, yeah. Okay. Because I was definitely thinking of Tomahawk of Chaos or whatever it's.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, by the way. I love that.
Yeah. And this is the thing. The director here is pretty good with like these kind of horror styles, because like it's the same guy who did 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, which is like arguably the best one.
And he just goes all in, like I said, a lot of on-set location, a lot of just good use of just the environments. The cinematography is great. The sound design is great.
Yep.
Seriously, especially if you get to listen to this in like 4K and surround, it just sounds it's nice.
Oh yeah, like, and the design of the Predator looks fucking amazing. The way they kind of like drew the technology back a couple centuries. So it's not quite as armored, not quite as bulky as like the Predator we used to know, but still has a really cool skull design, and the actual Predator face still looks like a monster, which again, just really good design choices. And really good use of camera work and very fluid action sequences to carry on to it, especially to carry on to the third act, when the Predator makes himself more known. But it does also feel like, again, just a return to basics of like, hey, we don't need any of the overcomplicated Predator lore the last couple movies are trying to throw in there. We don't even have any lore at all. Just have a basic setup for a main character that's really not that deep because it doesn't need to be. hire good actors to play them, and then just have the predator fight a bear, and that's just what we're gonna have.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of the other cool thing is like what this thing does is, so basic plot, we should probably go with that, is, focuses on a Comanche named Naru, who she's trying to be like an actual hunter instead of just like a gatherer within her society.
Yeah.
She
wants to be like her brother, who's this well-known hunter within the tribe.
Named Tabe, I believe.
I'm terrible at names. I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to butcher and look really racist. Brother, but obviously since she's a woman, they expect her to be the gatherer role. But she's like, no, I want to be a hunter. So they take her along. So she basically insists on coming along to this hunt for a lion that attacked one of their people. But then she starts getting a little suspicious of like, hey, something hinky is going on over here. And everyone's saying like, no, it's just a lion. It's like, no, there's something bigger that's trying to murder us, following us at all times. And everyone's like, no, there isn't. No, there isn't. Dead. I'm still a little skeptical. Dead. I'm still not sure about this. Okay, yeah, it's real.
It's Man Bear Pig.
Pretty much. I mean, we'll always get cuts of the predator every now and again that just kind of go around just killing things, kind of just for the heck of it.
Yeah. And this is the thing I did like about that, too, is the way they show this thing killing is it's going up the food chain.
They make that metaphor very clear almost immediately.
Yeah.
When they have the shot with like the ant that crawls on the predator, and then the mouse eats the ant, and then the snake eats the mouse, and then the predator kills the snake. It's like, okay, right out of the gate, you can tell exactly what this is going for.
Yeah.
Although you can argue, if you want to go like really deep into this movie, like you can't argue that's also representation of colonization, but that's
because there are some parallels. Because one of the other antagonistic groups in here are like a group of French trappers.
Yeah,
and that is the interesting thing about the Predator, is that they show like kind of interesting elements of both sides, like how we can relate to both the Comanche in terms of like the way that they do their hunting. But in terms of the way that they're like encroaching, it feels much more like the, as you said, the colonization that's been going on at the time and like encroaching on these people in their land.
See, to me, it's kind of funny because in a certain way, like, I don't know if it really shows the trapper side. I don't know if that's what you're saying. Because to me, especially when you have like the scenes, and we're going to slightly into spoiler territory here, by the way, so be warned. Where like they have the fields of like the skinned cat, like the skin bulls or the skin calves.
The buffalo,
sorry, yeah. And Naru sees it, and she's kind of like, oh, fuck these people. And the predator comes by later and sees the same thing. All this kind of like, you're right, fuck these people. And you see the actual French colonizers, who are all these kind of really kind of grotesque, kind of gross, vulgar, just unpleasant people.
Yeah,
so that way, when the predator comes out and murders all of them, you don't feel the least bit bad because they all had it coming.
There's only one that's not an asshole.
Only one, but he still dies horribly.
Yeah.
And even then, he's only like not terrible. And he's the only one that actually knows how to speak like her language.
And like he doesn't try to like revel in torturing people.
Yeah, but it's also like but it's also kind of like saying it's like you're the good Nazi of the group. Yeah, but you're still a Nazi.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why. That just makes me think of a bit from Simpsons I fucking love. Where it's like, I want you to do for me what Spielberg did for Oscar Schindler. But Senor Burns, Oscar Schindler is muy bueno. Senor Burns is El Diablo. It's like, look, Schindler and I are peas in a pod. It's like we're both factory owners. We both made shells for the Nazis, but mine worked, damn it. Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Because like this movie's not on the colonizer's side.
Not at all. And it's rightfully shows that it's like, yeah, the majority of these people were assholes. And
they 100% had it come. I mean, you can make an argument that all colonizers are kind of that way, and we're both white as fuck, so we both came from descendants of colonizers. But come on, not all of them. But, it's not like some get the pass. Collectively, they all kind of sucked.
Yeah, but my God, the way they're dispatched was glorious.
It was so satisfying. I watched it again last night because I had a couple before when I watched it the first time. I was like, okay, I gotta remember this. I can actually remember when I watched. But yeah, like watching it again, just like, oh my God, it's so satisfying.
Yeah. And I will say, this is one of the things I do like. So both definitely have their things, whereas this one's kind of like female empowerment. I wouldn't say that's far off from the first Predator, because that was more about like emasculation of like the gung-ho genre hero tropes.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I liked about Naru in this movie is, through her journey, and it is an actual journey, is we see how she grows and adapts.
Well, yeah, sorry, go finish your thought and I'll add on to it.
Because one of the big things about this movie is, that is kind of another things like that sometimes is missing, that we need to see this adaptation. It's a thing where Naru is a character, like, she is smart, but that doesn't mean that she wins all the time. She actually fails a lot. But every time she does that, she either learns or finds a way to like improve upon the situation, so she's like not caught in that kind of like situation again. She's very adaptable.
Yeah.
And that's something I liked about her character.
No, like go ahead, sorry.
Was that, like a lot of the stuff we see, like I know you're going to talk about it, is there's a lot of people kind of going the whole Mary Sue thing, where it's like,
idiots.
This is not a case of that. I think it's a case
Mary
where
Sue is usually just a dog whistle for misogyny.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's like there's some movies where I can see an argument for it. This one, no, she freaking earns it.
I mean, the whole point of the movie is that she's not a great hunter at the beginning of it. She chokes constantly.
Yeah.
She like every time she's caught in disaster, she has to take a shot. She always fails to take a shot against the larger predator, and she always misses with the smaller predator. She's not a good hunter at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
But like you said, though, she's constantly trained, she's improving, she's learning, and that's how she eventually becomes triumphant. And she finds she finds her like skills and finds the nerve to actually follow through in the end.
Yeah.
There's her character arc, there's the story, but also on top of that, it's also her learning that being a gatherer isn't that it like has its own benefits too. Because the saving grace is like the feather that cools your blood or whatever.
Is the orange something or other? I can't.
Orange something. Either way, it's like a flower that cools your blood, and she uses it to disguise herself from the predator's heat vision, because she figures out that's how he senses people.
Yeah.
So it's all those things. I kind of realizing all these elements come together, and how eventually culminates in the finale, which was awesome. And like, again, just both times I was watching, I was like, woo, yeah, fuck yeah.
I think my only complaint about as awesome as that final kill was, was I feel like the Predators should have known better. It's like, okay.
Here's the thing. I'm going to push back on that a little bit, because historically speaking, without their tech, Predators are idiots.
That's true.
So someone else put a great point on this on Twitter, and I to me, this is my headcanon with the Predators, is that the Predator isn't actually like a hunter-killer society. The rest of the society is actually pretty normal, but the Predators that we know are like the MAGA people of the Predator world. And they just go to Earth to feel like tough badasses, but really they're just dumbasses who are way over their heads.
So just spoiler alert on how Naru proves triumphant.
Yeah.
Which I will say, basically she kind of acquires the mask from the Predator. In a pretty cool way too, where she it's a double whammy of revenge against the Trapper, as well as like using it as kind of like a way to lure in the Predator.
Yeah.
She somehow gets him basically like in the exact right spot that he needs him to be. And for some reason, he conveniently forgets that his little arrow thing that fires is a tracker.
So when he does it earlier in the movie, so clearly he just doesn't really pay attention.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things where it's like, he kind of dumbassed himself. I'm not,
because like historically speaking, in all of the Predator movies, when you really like break them all down, we've seen enough of these to get this kind of track record. Like the minute the helmet comes off, they just become dumb, angry brutes. Like there's no tactics involved. There's nothing like that. The first Predator in the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie was killed by a fucking log. All right.
Yeah, but even then, it's because he got like double trapped. Like he got what was supposed to be one of the traps and actually avoided it. But that is even a fair point.
That dumbass Predator still falls for like 5 other traps, and to the point where it's like, hey, wait a minute.
Which is
that
fair.
must be a trap. Oh, fuck. And then just dies.
Which is fair.
These are not smart creatures. They are entirely relying on the technology. It's all like, and without it, for even a minute, they die almost immediately.
That's fair.
Like, for fuck's sake. And Predator is like the big giant one got beat up by Adrian Brody.
Honestly, for me, the highlight in that movie was the frickin' the showdown between the Predator and the Yakuza in that movie.
Oh, yes. So absolutely. Yeah, for good reason. I think I saw another great tweet that was joking around with us. It's like, it's funny how one of the main antagonists in Predators looks like a guy who would complain about the hero in this one being a woman with Topher Grace.
But yeah, like all in all though, this is a freaking solid flick that it goes toe to toe with the original.
It really is a shame this did not get a theatrical release. Like, it really should.
Yeah. Agreed. Like this begs to be seen on the big screen. That said, I do have a complaint about it. I will say the CG was. I'm gonna blame this on the budget they probably had.
Yeah,
like the CG was a little dodgy at times.
At times, like sometimes when they had the green blood pop out, it was a little easily noticeable, stuff like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't too distracting for me, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But yeah, like other than that though, like I said, this is a freaking worthy movie. Oh, and I will say I also did enjoy. I missed the post-credit scene, but I did enjoy the little Predator 2 Easter egg that they threw in there.
Which one was that?
The pistol.
I didn't even know it had a post-credit scene, so I gotta go back and watch.
No, so this before the post-credit scene, but the pistol she gets.
Oh yeah,
that's the one that Danny Glover gets in Predator 2.
See, I've never sat down and watched Predator 2 all the way through. I've seen like parts of it, but
fair. So you're not missing much.
That's what I've heard, which is why I never really sought it out. Which, by the way, how is Donald Glover capable of killing a predator? But woman is suddenly, that's too unrealistic.
You mean Danny Glover?
Sorry, Danny Glover.
Yeah. Donald Glover is Community.
Donald Glover might actually have a chance.
Yeah.
Danny Glover. Really? We're giving him a pass? But okay, whatever.
Oh, man. It is kind of funny, though, because, like, as my friend pointed out, she finds it freaking hilarious that this is a running theme of the program, is that in every one, the woman of color is like one of the only survivors in these movies.
Yeah, because maybe they're just the smart ones.
Yeah, they are. Once again, tackling white masculinity and its flaws.
I was thinking that how it should have ended series on the first Predator movie. It was like, I ain't got time to bleed. I was like, okay, tell that to the bleeding hole in your arm.
Pretty much. But for sure, though, definitely check this movie out. Like, it's well-paced, good tension, like a very solid main character who, like, does a good job of kind of, like, building up her journey. If you're looking for, like, huge character development, you're not going to get it with this movie. But then again, this is not a movie that needs this.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's all about kind of like the way that, they learn and how they grow. And this movie accomplishes that really well, thanks to, like, some really great directing from Dan Trachtenberg.
Yeah.
Like, the moment I heard he made this, like, or he was making this, I was like, this is going to be great. And thankfully, it did not disappoint one bit.
Yep. 10 Cloverfield Lane was easily the best of the Cloverfield movies. Third act be damned. Yeah, no, I had a great time with this movie. This was a lot of fun. And like I said, you're right. It's not the deepest movie in the world, but at the same time, it's a Predator movie. Come on.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be deep. It is Predator versus Prey. And
if anything, it actually helps a lot by just trimming a lot of the unnecessary fat. Yeah. Because the last two movies were bloated with. Yeah,
because it keeps, like I said, it keeps things at a very good brisk pace.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little downtime, and when there is, it's almost all about training or getting better. Also, the dog was great.
Yep, glad the dog makes it.
Yeah. Sorry, I think that was his name. And I believe it was a Belgian Malinois.
That I don't know.
Because it looked very similar to the dog from Dog.
It was not the
Channing
same breed. I don't think so.
Okay, I could be wrong because it gave me Malinois vibes, but yeah, I could just
Maybe.
easily be wrong.
I don't know. Dog breeds aren't really my jam.
Yeah,
So I don't pretend to have any authority over that.
that's fair.
Or knowledge of. But
yeah,
yeah.
definitely check this out. Great summer flick. Yeah, there's not much else we can really say about this.
Not really, no. So I think we still got Bullet Train we have to watch.
Yeah.
And then Easter Sunday is out.
Also, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Is that on now?
Yep.
Fuck. It's not that I don't want to see it. It's more like, God damn it, I gotta make time for one more movie.
At least I think it's out, but from what I saw, it should be. And I'm actually pretty excited for that one too. It looks fun.
I'm gonna Google that because I didn't see it when I was looking at movies.
Yeah.
This week.
But we probably don't want to have this review ending on you look up a thing, so we can probably just give everyone a thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
And we will catch y'all next time.
Yep.